Who's ready to rumble? Hello, you guys. Welcome to this episode. And this week is all about relationships. Okay. It could be one on one, it could be a group dynamic, a network, an organization, um, just relationships as a whole. Also, this week we are dealing with a bunch of the air element. So, a strong emphasis on communication, clarity, research, the truth. Okay. We have a full moon in Aquarius happening this week. We have a double kite. I'll explain what that means. It's a pattern in the sky with the celestial beings. It involves a great trine that's very beautiful. And it involves the opposition. So two trines in opposition makes a kite. Okay. Also, Mercury goes direct. That's also involved with one of the patterns. And we have something huge. Duh, another huge. A lot of huge things happening this week. Jupiter and Venus being conjunct. The two greater benefic planets, the two good luck planets, are hugging and they're one. So that is what we have this week. If you really want to get involved and want to know the predictions, how this affects you individually or worldly, then you're at the right place.
3, 2, 1.
I love you.
Okay, so quickly, let me just show you some dates. And before we even get to the dates, I do want you to understand that it just takes 5 minutes, maybe even less than that, of your time to show me some love. Okay, so thumbs up this episode or this video if you're watching this, or write a comment. Hello, we got our first comment. Happy Monday, Sandra. Welcome to this live, and this is live. So thank you for participating and writing a comment, but go ahead and write a comment. It shows me love. Thumbs up this episode. If you are listening to this via podcast, then go ahead and write a comment. Share this with anyone who loves astrology, okay? Because a lot of people love astrology. They're in the closet, but they do love astrology. Once they find out I'm an astrologer, boy, okay? So in this episode is also we're going to pull some tarot, okay? So let's get into the dates here. Now, the dates, we are actually going to start for August 6th. This is my August monthly dates here that I'm showing if you're watching this. But August 6th, we have Mars entering Libra. August 8th, Mars is going to trine Uranus. Also on the 8th, we have Mars is going to oppose Saturn. On the 9th, we have the official full moon in Aquarius, and Mars is going to oppose Neptune. If you notice, I'm saying a lot about Mars because it's going to do that pattern that I talked about, and I'll explain it to all the people who are new to astrology. My mom and some friends told me like it gets too complicated, so I'm going to try to narrow it down. August 10th, we have Mars again in the picture. It's trining Pluto. Now, next week, and we're going to start off next week, and I'm going to do that here. And that's going to be August 11th. That's Monday. And Mercury is going to station direct in Leo, and Venus and Jupiter will conjunct. And we're going to talk about that here in this video as well. Okay. So now I have my beautiful chart up, and it's up for you guys, but I can't see it. So let me put it up for myself. Now, this chart here, we are going to start with Mars entering Libra, okay? So I'm going to put it for the current date. I am live as of Monday, August 4th. So currently, Mars is in Virgo, and then it goes into on the 6th of August 6th, is going to move into Libra. Okay. Now, this says the 7th, but it happens before it turns into the 7th. And Mars is going to turn into Libra at 0 degrees. 0 degrees is a potent degree. Mars is the planet of aggression, assertion of us asserting ourselves. It's how we achieve things. It's not only that, it's also how we fight. And when it's in a sign Libra, it's not happy here. It's in its detriment because it's in the opposite sign, meaning that Mars doesn't like to be in the house of Libra. Libra likes things to be very peaceful and harmonious, and there's balance, and it's all about relationship. Where Mars is the ruler of Aries, Mars is very comfortable with aggression. It doesn't want to beat around a bush. It doesn't want harmony. It wants to be upfront. It wants to be impulsive. It doesn't want to be charming. It's a little rough around the edges, and also Aries is about the self, and Libra is about others. Okay, so you have it in this house that it doesn't like to be in, and on top of that, Mars and Libra alone is about fairness. It's about ability to compromise and trying to pursue harmony and balance in our lives. Now it's going to make this kite here. Should I show you guys? Should I make my life difficult and see if I could show you guys? Okay, we're talking about Mars. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to take this out. We'll leave this in. We'll take these out. If you see this here, this picture here is a kite, okay? And that is what we have while Mars is in the sign Libra. Once it hits Libra, these planets all here are like 1 degree, 2 degrees. This is going to affect any of the signs, all the signs. If you have any planets that is in early degree, and I know that's more of advanced astrology if you know your chart, but if you have your chart on hand, look at it. And if it's at any early degree, I would say all the way up to, let's say, 8 degrees, okay? You're going to be feeling this. Okay, so if you have a Mercury at Libra at 3 degrees, you're going to be feeling this. If you have an Aries, okay, let's say you even have Pisces and a planet in Pisces, and it is a Mars in Pisces, and it's at 5 degrees, you're going to be feeling this. Okay, everyone's going to be feeling this if you have an early degree sign. Okay, and we'll talk about how that affects us. Yes, but anyway, but a kite means that. Okay, first of all, there's 2 trines here, and it's very positive. There's 2 sextiles, which makes a trine, and then it also makes a trine here, but then there's an opposition here, okay? So these 2 planets are trining. These 2 planets are, well, these 1, 2, 3, 4 planets are sextile, and then there is a trine here and a trine here, and then there's an opposition. Now, this is a blessing, even though it may not seem like that, but it is somewhat of a blessing. For my studies and my knowledge and all the books that I've read, it basically says that trines are just natural blessings that lands on your lap. Now, when you have an opposition or when you have a square, okay, when the celestial beings in the sky are giving you an opposition or a square, there's a challenge, there's a lesson. Now, if anyone knows the planet Saturn, whenever there is a lesson, there is long-term benefits. If you learn the lesson, if you accomplish the challenge, then you get the long-term benefits. It always makes me think of Ozempic, okay? And no shade to anyone who takes Ozempic. Everyone, to each his own. Everyone has a cheat system or something that they cheat on. Okay, now, and it's a very human trait to want to cheat. That's the book that I read, Atomic Habits. Okay, now. Okay, so let's say you're doing Ozempic. Ozempic is an easy way out, right? And it's like, oh, it's easy. I can just lose weight. It's easy. Now, if you get off Ozempic, the word it is on the street is that you gain more weight. You get bigger than ever. Okay, so now let's say you don't take Ozempic. There's a challenge here. There's an obstacle to losing weight. And now this helps you in the long run. You actually know what you're supposed to do. You actually learn the lesson. You know what affects your body. You know what makes you gain weight. You know what makes you lose weight. Okay, so now we have an opposition added to this great blessing. This opposition, this balance that we need to have, this balance here, oh, my mouse isn't working. This balance here is going to cause a disruption to the blessing. So not everything is just handed to us from God. Now there needs to be a balance here, which can help us in this bigger picture. Okay, Mars is all about what makes you tick. It shows us how we use our energy. Oh, also too, I have a book here because I love my books. If you didn't know, I have a Gemini placement. We appreciate, oh, here we go. Thank you, Sandra. We appreciate you, Danyell, plus all your selfless angel work. Thank you so much. That is a blessing. Thank you for commenting and sharing and always being consistent, Sandra. I appreciate that. Now, I have this book here. It is called Mars. Let me show it here. It is called Mars. It is by Donna Van Toen, okay? A guide to your personal energy and motivation. And just to explain Mars, I just have a highlight here on the beginning, very first pages, right? Mars represents courage and energy. It indicates heat, fever, scars, wounds, and accidents. And if it's in the sign Libra, that is more dealing with, what does Libra rule? Why can't I think of what Libra rules? The body part. It's drawing a blank of what Libra rules, but it is about harmony and balance. And if you don't have harmony and balance, you could have these things affecting you for sure. Okay. It describes your temper. And when it's in Libra, Mars with a temper is going to be very passive aggressive. You're holding it in and then boom, there's an explosion, okay? In a woman's chart, Mars often shows her opinion of what men should be like. And in a man's chart, it influences his concept of masculinity, okay? And therefore helps describe the sort of lover he is, okay? That's just a brief description of what this book says what Mars is about. Now, Mars in Libra is also like passive aggressiveness, which I cannot stand. Okay. um, also, too, it also Mars in Libra also wants to use charm to achieve things, and Mars is like, I don't want to use the charm. Now, back to my chart here. And I'm going to have to bring up all of the things here. Let me bring all the planets back up here. Now, back to this chart here, we see that Mars, the ruler of Mars, who's in charge of Mars, is Venus. And Venus is getting closer to Jupiter, which we will discuss later. But Venus is in a sign Cancer. So everything that we're achieving has a Cancer pushed energy to it in a big way because it's going to touch Jupiter. So Cancer is all about nurturing, it's about emotions, it's about feeling, it's about your past, it's about safety and security. So us achieving things in this non-aggressive way, which is very un-Mars like, we're going to have a nurturing and very emotional, maybe moody way of achieving things. So be aware that that's affecting it, and it's going to maybe bring a big blessing in our goals and achieving things. Okay. Now, who's going to be most affected? Now, this is going to affect Mars and Libra alone. It's going to affect all of my cardinal signs. Okay. It will be squaring, meaning it's not going to give you the blessings that you want. It will be squaring and challenging you. So, all of my cardinal signs are my Cancers, which is very interesting that Mars will soon be squaring Venus, and Venus is the ruler of this. But also, too, it's going to be squaring all of my Aquarius signs as well. There's going to be issues. I mean, not Aquarius, all my Capricorn signs as well. There's Mars, you achieving things is going to just bring a challenge towards you, okay? Aries is going to be opposition, meaning any Aries or Aries placements, there is going to be a balance that you have to bring with when it comes to the self versus others, okay? Now, on the positive side, all my air signs, you are talking about my Libras and my Geminis. This is going to work really good for you. You guys are going to be like, oh, I love Mars and Libra every time Mars is in Libra. Okay, but Mars and Libra is very high mental energy. It doesn't really want to be on a physical because it's really focused on the aesthetics. So like the working out and all that stuff. No, no, no. This is about making things look beautiful. Decorate, okay? It's all about pleasantries and relaxing and being social and being very diplomatic. It's also about fairness and ability to compromise and being cooperative. It's very indecisive, doesn't want to be independent and wants to do it with a partner. So you achieving something with a partner to succeed. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to have a loved one. You can have like a therapist that's going to help you, or an auto mechanic, or someone who is good at art. You team up with them, but it's more of a team. Okay. I told you that it's very passive aggressive. I can't not stress that enough. And again, my fire sign does not like that. Now, Mars is the planet that deals with intimacy. And when it's in Libra, it kind of doesn't want to do it. Just pay attention to that. It's all about the love and aesthetics. And if you make things beautiful, then sure. And I'm sure if you have some air signs that are trining, very positive for you guys, I'm sure. But the physical intimacy of things, it's like it could get messy. And Mars is all about the aesthetics, okay? But a lot of social time, a lot of partying, a lot of just hanging out with others, okay? Even men may not even be that sexual demanding as well, because unless it's offered to them, sure, okay. But this is a time where people will leave their partner, and um, if they no, I'm sorry. If they leave their partner while Mars is in Libra, there has to be another option on the table, just so you know. Now, let's talk about this kite that I was talking about earlier, right? And the kite is affecting this one here, and it's opposing here. The kite is similar to a grand trine, right? Again, there's motivation, there's potential, it's very easygoing, a lot of self sufficiency. And when you have an air grand trine, right, you are talking about clarity and communication. And that's what I was saying earlier. A lot of communication across the board. This is a great time to communicate, write it down. Anything of clarity, research, and studying. Okay. Now, the opposition here is the focus point. The opposition is this energy. So while this is a blessing, okay, Pluto in Aquarius and a transformation in the future and an understanding and intensity in AI, this is a blessing. Launching or doing something very out of the box when it comes to communication, a blessing, or being different when it comes to intellect and being adaptable, okay, putting your having multiple streams and being very different when it comes to multiple streams of incomes or having your hands in every pot. That's very positive. It's going to land on your lap when you are pursuing something, especially when it comes to aesthetics and fashion, or when it comes to a team or a group or even a female. Very positive, going to land on your lap, like you won't have to do any work. Okay, now this is where the energy is needs to be focused on. We need to focus on these two planets that are retrograding, and they're conjunct, and they're in 1 degrees. 1 degrees is an Aries degree. That means it's something new, or it's something about the self, something very independent, and it's going against this non-independent energy. Okay, so here you are, want to work with a partner. Right? Remember, I said earlier, Mars in Libra is working with a partner, and now it wants to do stuff on its own. It's like, no, we don't get along with working with a partner. We need you to set some boundaries with some partner. Well, actually, we can't even see the boundaries, or there's an illusion when it comes to yourself and how you restrict yourself. So be aware of this. This opposition can tell a lot about how we focus and how we release the energy. It helps us resolve the conflict. There needs to be a balance between the self and others, independence and dependent. Okay, being impulsive and messy and having that fire and not caring what other people think versus caring what everyone thinks, and having a charm and being graceful. There needs to be a balance of that. Okay, Mars is the ruler of Aries, and it's opposing it's opposing these planets, which is the ruler of. This is very interesting. There's a lot of balancing that all of us, the collective in the world, and I'll talk about some world predictions a little bit. Okay, not just self, but when it's opposing Neptune, we have to watch our tongue. We have to, yes, our tongue, because we are talking about communication here. Your emotions can cause you to say things that you regret. You could be involved in self undoing. A lot of sneaky things, a lot of illusions, a lot of plotting, or making someone regret their actions. Okay. This is also about deception. Neptune is the planet of things we cannot see. So someone could be taking advantage of you. You think it's a rose colored lens, but it's not quite it. There could be victims of violence. There could be illusions and strength. There could be fighting for the underdog. There could be, again, double passive aggressiveness. This is also too dealing with some sexuality and some sexual energy and the fantasies of it. And it's not quite balanced. This is also addiction. This is also when you have this opposition, don't do any drugs. Let go of the drugs. Don't drink any alcohol. Okay. It's a good time to indulge in any type. It's not a good time to indulge in any type of like not being in his world, because it's lacking the motivation to do it. You're going to lack the action. Okay. You're eager to please with this and do favors for others. You're lacking assertion, lack of accepting reality. Not only do what you want. Okay. My notes. I don't, I write the notes down and say it to the mic and have it printed out orally. And I don't reread it. Okay. That is my Mars and Gemini. I move really fast, but, not only do we have this Neptune energy, but it's also opposing a Saturn. And this Saturn opposition is going to, and are both retrograding. Okay. So it's redoing, or it's not quite working like it should. So the illusions could be lifted. There could be some fantasies that we are not seeing, or that we're able to see. It all varies to other people. Retrogrades are very like hit and miss for me. Okay. I find that retrogrades either means that it's not working, the planet is not working as it usually should, or there is some redoing. It is working and you have to repeat the steps. So it's either or. I just want you to be aware of that. Now, when you have Mars opposing this Saturn energy, now you're dealing with frustrations. Okay. Now you're dealing with long-term consequences. And it's like, oh, this is going to be very pessimistic. I'm trying to achieve these things, but it seems so far away. Okay. Or it could be, you could be fed up. excess physical strain. You could break a bone, literally, because this represents a bone. There could be illness or even trouble with your teeth. Any tendencies towards seriousness could be increasing. Like I said, you're very pessimistic about long-term goals and the relationship of self and independence and grace and impulsiveness is all an issue here. Now, these two things are conjunct. This is the focus here, okay? So, what does this mean? Alone. What should we be focusing on? You're talking about homelessness and the new beginnings of that because this represents homelessness. This represents that that they're free. There's no restrictions. There's no limits to homeless or people that you consider crazy or the mental ill or the people who are on drugs. That also represents that. Now, Neptune also represents illusions, right? So all the secrets and illusions and deceptions and conspiracies, there's no limit to it. There's no restrictions. There's no borders. Saturn also represents the government. They're just up the government, any government. Okay, it could be America or not America. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But any government is just doing what it wants to do. It's so secretive, or it's being more deceptive, or maybe the deceptions are being more pulled together. So collectively, government, leaders, CEOs, corporations, they're being very deceitful and they're trying to pull it over you again, but you can see clearly. Now, if you're talking about individually, you're talking about Saturn could represent your long-term goals. You are planting some seeds. You're planting the seeds, and God is saying, replant the seeds. Don't be pessimistic. You're in it for the long run. Remember, I told you about the Ozempic. So, this is also dealing with that, has got to be the focus, okay? Nothing is going to just come and land on your lap and you don't have to put in a long work. You have to, whatever gift that has landed on your lap this week, you have to accept the gift, but you have to think about a long-term strategy to help your gift. This is about planting the seeds and every day using a routine and looking at the details and reading the fine print and working on long-term goals here. Okay. Now let's see what else I have in my notes. Okay. We have Uranus entering the building. Okay. And again, air trines, they're all about talent, ease, harmony, and let me see what else. Does it promote growth? Okay, air trine, very social, very intellectual, self-sufficient, can live in your own head, and you're breaking things down. Now you can mentally stimulate and work on a lot of things. Okay, let me see. Oh, you can work on abstract thoughts. You can have a broad mind. You're very curious. This is a great time to learn. If you are learning something and it was hard to grasp the concept of, this is going to just be very easy for you to grasp that. This is a great time to not rely on AI. Take this week, if you've been Googling and AIing or whatever, take that out. If you've been dependent on someone else who is more intellectual, now is the time to really think about that and work on yourself long term. Okay. Broaden mind, curiosity, a lot of learning new things and new information. And not only that, but processing that information. Uranus gives you the energy. It helps because it's daring. It likes to think outside of the box. It likes to be very futuristic. And and now this is the reformer of intelligence, of communication, of sharing ideas. Okay. This air trine, the trine is usually dealing with communication. I said that, socializing. Sometimes I repeat myself. Oh, social media. Uranus is all about social media. Uranus is also about science, space. Get ready for that. Now, Mars is also dealing with Pluto here. And Pluto is very intense. It likes to do a lot of healing. It likes to be in the dark side and then go and see the light at the end of the tunnel. Also a lot of power dynamics here, and it's working really great for you. Even though you have this limitation here and restrictions, very interesting. The power dynamic, though, is very strong and working for you. So you could be very motivated, very ambitious when it comes to your goals. There's physical and emotional energy. Healing and very transformative. If you're going to therapy, if you're dealing with anything psychological, this is helping. Also, too, if you are having surgery, Leo, this represents Libra, represents the ovaries, right? Mars is cutting, and surgery is Pluto. Great time for that as well, too. Let me pull a card for this first major kite here and how this is going to affect you and the collective. Okay, so you individually, and I know we're watching this as a group, but you individually, we have the Ten of Cups. This is going to bring great blessings when it comes to, I always want to use this light. This is going to bring great blessings when it comes to you and your family and your emotions. This is all about happiness and divine love. And I think that really is going to help with that Mars and Libra and finding a balance and harmony, especially finding a balance of yourself and others. So really focus on your family, really focus on who supports you, who loves you, who brings you fulfillment. This is emotional stability. This is domestic joy. Okay. Now, far as the group, we have the Queen of Swords. And I said clarity, I said truth, and this is what it's going to bring. So as a group, there's going to be a aha awakening for a lot of us, okay? This is also brings intellect, honesty, fairness, clear boundaries. Clear boundaries. Isn't that interesting? Because I said that this represents, well, I didn't tell you, but this represents boundaries and limitations, right? And Neptune makes it very foggy, but when it's retrograding, maybe there's clear boundaries that's going to be aware that we are going to see. Okay. Objective, being very logical, being very independent also is what we get for that. Okay. Let me see what else we have. Oh wait, it made it. Yes, there are predicting things will be messy just to be prepared. Yes, I don't know what I said earlier, and I could be late to this comment because I'm looking at all of my notes here. But yes, but overall for this week, we can look for within ourselves having harmony and balance with people who love us and having that emotional support. Okay. Now on the opposite scale, the bigger picture, there is going to be a aha moment for the collective. So let's see what it brings collectively, and let's see what the awareness is for us together. Okay. Now on August 9th, let me bring up my chart for myself here. August 9th, we have the full moon. Let me bring up actually the exact full moon so you guys can see it. Okay. So we have a full moon in Aquarius. Okay. Aquarius full moons, they're not that emotional. Okay. It's going to be at 16 degrees. It's going to be at 12:55. I live in Los Angeles. Okay. 12:55 a.m. LA time. Okay. 16 degrees, that is a Cancer degree. So a lot of themes of home, family, mother, safety, security, the past, ancestry, anything dealing with antiques or old or vintage. Okay. All that's going to be coming up. Okay. I said home and family, safety, whatever you deem as home. Okay. Now Aquarius full moons, they're not very emotional. They're very detached when it comes to emotions, very aloof, but it's very interesting because there is this fixated energy, and a fixated energy is like you're stuck on a thought. So it's again, here we are dealing with the logical, and Aquarius is highly communicative. So now our emotions are like, we want to communicate our emotions instead of just feeling them. So you have that Aquarius full moon also is all about independence. It doesn't want to be with others. There is radical change. Anytime you're dealing with Aquarius, it's like, I need to focus on the future. I don't want to focus on the past. And it's very interesting because that degree is dealing with a past degree. So let's see how this ties in. Okay. Radical change, bring something new to the table. What does our future have to be involved with? Because, oh, I don't have the North nodes on here because this full moon does have an in conjunction with the North node, the South node in Virgo, of releasing that past. Okay. Wanting to be innovative, and people are thinking you're weird is what you get with this full moon in Aquarius. You could explode. You could lose your temper. It's like you're happy one moment and then you curse everyone the next. Aquarius moon energy likes to be alone. It's very social sign, sure, but it likes to retreat because it's like, I exerted all my energy. Now I need time alone. Aquarius energy is also very like black and white. I know that's very Scorpio if you guys didn't know, or it could be a little Gemini. But the reason why I said black and white is because it's like an oxymoron. So it likes to be very social, but then it likes to be alone. Okay. It likes to travel, but then it likes to sit there and here's a good one. It likes to be very out of the box, but then it's very fixated on one idea. Okay. So you have this black and white kind of issue. You're likely to be happy when I said that. You may want to be alone. I said that. Also to judging others is what you get with this, and also being very contradictory with this full moon. Okay, this is all about change and progress. This full moon works really good with Aries. Okay, you guys will be fine. Geminis, you'll be fine. Leos, you'll be fine. Libras, Sagittarius, Aquarius, you'll be fine. Everyone else, get ready, okay? You may be challenging for everyone. Oh, no, I put that. Okay. Time for forgiveness. Anytime you have a full moon, it's about releasing, it's about detaching, it's about letting go, it's about forgiveness. Okay. Now, if you do any full moon rituals, I would not do it the day of the full moon. Do it the day before, August 8th. And it's a ritual you can do if you're scared of the word rituals. Okay. For all my people who get a little fearful. If you're scared of word rituals, it's just a routine. So anytime you have an Aquarius full moon, you can focus on writing, you can focus on learning, you can focus on really sitting with your emotions, because Aquarius doesn't want to sit with his emotions. But intellect and communications is huge with Aquarius, and really thinking about the future. Try to be all things to all people is what you get with this Aquarius full moon. And you're like, this is not working for me. I really need to focus on my real self or my relationship with the self. The ruler of the full moon is Saturn, and Saturn is sitting next to, this is the traditional ruler, and is sitting next to Neptune. Again, that illusion, that fog, or maybe this oneness or this love aspect or being creative is going to be involved with this full moon, or even again, like I said, homelessness or charity of some sort. Now, the modern ruler is Uranus, which I said, and it's dealing with this grand trine. So it's sitting very positive. So this full moon could be very positive for you when it comes to the intellect and the communication, or there is this huge focus here of the illusions and the deceptions and the secrets. Okay. So be aware of that. But it's Saturn. I mean, Neptune does represent releasing as well and forgiveness. It also involves that retrograde trine. I said that Uranus is the monarch. I said that. Okay. Let's pull a card for the full moons. Okay. For all of you guys to understand, what is this full moon going to bring for you? What is this full moon in Aquarius going to bring for the collective? Okay. Let me see what we have here. Now, the full moon for you is bringing the Page of Cups. A lot of emotions, which just said is so funny. I said it's not very emotional, but maybe it's going to bring the intellectual side of your emotions. Maybe you're going to be able to process things. Now, any cup sign is bringing a message, and this is also a very curious sign. This card, it represents curiosity. So there is curiosity or a message coming your way. This is also about sensitivity, being naive, innocence, the inner child. Very intuitive messages could be coming your way as well. Not just a message that you can read on email, but maybe there is an email, but it sparks your intuition of some sort. Okay. Now, for the collective, we have the Magician. Very interesting that is a magician, because the magician is all about communication, it's all about action, it's about manifesting and focusing on creativity. Also, too, there's a skill here, and using all the tools God has laid out on the table for you to pursue this journey. So this is being very out of the box. There is a sense of collectiveness, because Aquarius represents the people. It represents a group. It represents a network. It represents a fraternity, a club, right? And now there is something that could be manifested with this full moon. And I think that there needs to be first a release and forgiveness, and then it's going to start this collective energy of starting something new and using the skills and desires and resources and abilities to make this come true. And that's very out of the box for the collective. Okay. Now, let me see what else we have. That is what we have for the full moon. Let's talk about what we have coming up Monday, because it is involving another kite, right? And it is also involving Mercury retrograding. And Mercury retrogrades. Oh wait, no, next Monday is oh no, this is next Monday. Okay, yes. Now I know I've discussed a week, but I want to talk about Monday, because Monday is, I want to get it before it happens, because you can feel it probably coming up now. Okay. So let me put the chart back up here, and here we go. This is Sunday and this is Monday. Mercury officially stops retrograding. If you see it's retrograding here, and then on Monday it goes direct. When it goes direct in Leo, the conflicts, did you get into a fight? Raise your hand if you got into a fight. I didn't get into a I didn't get into a verbal fight. I witnessed one, and I was like wanting popcorn, because I was like, talk about the drama. Okay. I feel sorry if you've been involved with it, but guess what? It's going to redo it. Maybe the apologies will be coming back or coming your way, or maybe there'll be aha for you. Did you get the clarity when it was a Kazemi? That all could be a very awareness for you as well. Okay. Now, especially all my Leo placements too. Now it's going direct in 4 degrees. 4 degrees is a Cancer degree, something from the past, something with your mom. We talked about it, your father, your history, all that stuff. Now, this Mercury is going to sextile Mars, okay? It's going to sextile Uranus. Here we go. And then it's going to oppose Pluto. here we go. Sex out. And then also, too, there is this square here. Okay. Not a square, a trine here. So again, we got another pattern. Okay. Now, when Mercury stops retrograding, not only do it lifts some communication, you can travel, you can sign documents, you can find that email, you can find your keys, the car accidents. Just I saw several car accidents that dealt with fire. Anyway, but all that clears up. People can drive now. Okay. Now, not only do you have that, but you have this opposition to Pluto. And this is the focus point. Okay. Now, there is great action towards our action and being able to think clearly and pursue something. And it's dealing with our partnerships and harmony and balance. And it's dealing with us being on stage and being brave and courageous. And it works really good with all forms of communication. The AI, the future, the technology, getting in a Waymo. You can get in Waymos now. Okay. I won't get in one, but you can get in a Waymo. I don't know if is it in every city, because I went to San Diego. I didn't see not one Waymo, but in LA, it's on every block. But what I'm saying is it's working great here, right? You have this energy working great, and it's really working great with these boundaries that you cannot see, with the restriction, with these government conspiracy theories. There could be something being said that's very bold, and they're not going to really snap at you. Okay. Now, however, what's the focus? The focus is Pluto in the opposition. Pluto is the planet of power. It's obsessed with power. And you can have these obsessions, okay? You can have like these nightmares. You can have struggles, a mental obsession. It's like a fear of the dark side, looking at the things that are taboo, looking at the things that are very dark. And it's like, why do I keep thinking negative? Not pessimistic, but dark, okay? You're talking about like the trash. You're talking about prostitution. You're talking about places that people don't want to really discuss. What are the skeletons in the closet? And now you're obsessed with that, okay? It could be harmful and destructive communication. There could be aggressive dogma beliefs, okay? Like, you will believe what I say. Look at this. This is an assigned leadership too. I am the boss. I am the king. I am the president. And I will say you have no freedom of speech, because that's what this represents as well too. I'm thinking of the self versus the group, thinking of the present versus the future, the leader versus the people. This is the sign of the people. And the leader is like, no. So let's see what our presidents and our leaders, what they tweet out this day. Oh my gosh, they're going to seem like they're very harmonious and peaceful and balanced. They're going to be like, my intentions were to help out my partners, aka Israel, if you're American. Or this could be like, oh, and technology, I use my AI to edit everything and worked out really good. And I'm just going to tweet this, and I'm going to just let you guys know you have no freedom of speech. Okay. That could be it. It's very crude speech. Okay. Now it's trining Neptune, so it's focused on some details. There's intense focus on a gift for deep and serious study, and a lot of conversations about long term, or you're able to tackle things that are very difficult and demanding projects. And very mental toughness here. This is very positive right here on this side, but there is a power struggle here on this side. So be aware of that. Neptune is very much creativity, imagination, divine timing, and all this works out very well when discussing things and having clear communication. Just be aware of the intensity, be aware of the taboo things. Focus on that. Okay. Now it will stop fully post shadow retrograde. That's going to happen August 24th. Just so you guys know, if you're like, can I sign this contract? If you really want to wait until you get really out of the retrograde, that happens August 24th. Now, Venus is another thing that happens here. It says it's happening here, the conjunction, but it really happens on the 14 degrees, I thought. Let me see. Let me put the exact degrees here. Conjunct. I could have swore it was 14 degrees. It is at, yes, 14 degrees. So, okay. So we have this conjunction of Venus, and Venus, remember, is the ruler of Mars. So it's going to be something big here with some conflicts. Okay. Jupiter is the ruler of the moon here this day. It's also the ruler of our south node, of our north node. Yes. Anyway. So, in Sagittarius, anything in Sagittarius? No. Okay. So, Jupiter, this conjunction is really positive, right? The last time we had it, I think, is 2002, 2001, or maybe we had them for both of those years, just so you know, in the sign Cancer. But it's going to make Cancer themes really big. This is all about having a party, and it's like a huge house party. Themes of having a party in white. I saw like there's going to be an all white party, and I'm like, why is it going to be an all white party? I saw like online, but there will be an all white party because usually in Leo season, everyone's wearing gold. Cancer season, they usually have the all white party. I know we think P. Diddy, but all white parties does represent that Cancer element. But Venus represents the party. So a huge party in the theme of Cancer, in the theme of moon, in the themes of past, or with your moms or something like that, that could be happening. But just feeling great and happiness and enjoyment and positivity and feeling like you have support within your relationships or with women, gorgeous, feeling like you are bringing the aesthetics like no other, expensive beauty, creativity, impressive style and taste. Yeah, a lot of gloriness and love. Okay, it's a good life. It's a lot of wealth and abundance. Jupiter is very abundant, and now is bringing abundance to anything from your past or your mom or your home, making your home look even better than ever. Okay, I'm very social at home, huge house parties, all white parties. Oh, feeling popular, sentimental sometimes, even big hearted. But sometimes it could be a little overboard because Jupiter is a little, not a little, it's big. Okay. Also, you could be feeling spoiled. It's all about the money. There could be some greed coming from insecurity because that Cancer makes things very insecure. Maybe you could be overvaluating, or no, having huge value of an appearance that could be happening. Loving people from different walks of life because Jupiter represents the world. Great day to launch something too, because Jupiter represents publishing, um, also represents broadcasting of some sort. If you want to launch something, this is a great date to do it. You could be interested in people with different cultures, different belief systems. Maybe you're going to a party and it's like, oh, these people from all around the world, different backgrounds, even different philosophies. Jupiter also represents religious, so someone religious or a type of philosophy background could be coming and joining and bringing some harmony in your life. Okay. I said launching, publishing. This could be something that you've been thinking of the past and now you're going to bring it back up to the future, or maybe you're doing a business or launching something with your mom. Very Cancer themes or something that represents emotions and feeling safe. Appreciating others' home life in their past. Huge themes of moms, fathers, safety, ancestry, the past, anything dealing with water. Huge water energy as well. Okay. Now, on the negative side, because conjunctions are positive and negative, but because these are two benefic planets, I'm going to say it's positive, but we're just going to throw this out here because it's conjunction. And, you know, I'm human. I'm not God. So I'm going to just explain everything that God has created with all the aspects. On the negative side, you could be indulging in shopping. Maybe you're just doing too much. You're eating too much. You're being too lazy. Maybe you're being fake. It's a little fake, okay? But people are aware because it's very overblown with the fakes. Or you're just being too gaudy as well. It's ruled by the moon, this conjunction. So this conjunction ruled by the moon means there's a lot of sensitivity, there's a lot of love, a lot of sense of safetyness and home life, and yeah, moodiness as well too, because it's ruled by the moon. Now I'm going to pull two cards here, and we're going to talk about how this affects you alone and how it affects the collective. Okay, so you alone with this conjunction, we got a lot of love. This is the Lover's card, if you can't see that. And the Lover's card is all about divine love. There's deep soul connection, there's choice, there's harmony, a lot of options and balance, because you have that Venus energy. So balancing relationships, you find someone that you're truly valued, or you guys have the same alignment. You guys share the same values, is what I was thinking. Yeah, unity and romance. Great aspect for love too. Maybe you love someone from your past. That happens around Monday, but you could be feeling this now. Now, for the collective, we have the Three of Cups in reverse. Very interesting because this is about support. And its conjunction means that there is a lack of support in a huge way. The support system is not showing itself for some reason. Okay, this is a huge emphasis on being aware that we need to be independent. Third party situations, maybe there's a scandal, maybe there's a gossip, maybe it's over partying, you're going to too many parties, you're not feeling supported, you feel like you're alone, you're being forced to conform. There's no time for others. as a collective. Let's see what we hear on the news for our themes of like they wanted me to go everywhere, or maybe you'll hear this in the streets with a friend. They're like, oh, it's just so overwhelming. I don't want to hang out with this person, and they just want all of my time. And you're like, oh, really? But it's not affecting you because you're sitting in blissfulness, happiness. Okay, yeah. So we have that. Now let me talk about the world news real quick. Let me pull up the chart again, and we are going to look at first USA. Let me put current transits, and then let me put USA. USA. Okay. First of all, if you see this conjunction here, it's going to be at 16 degrees. It's sitting close to the sun. It's not really, there, but it's sitting close to the sun. So Jupiter, that conjunction of everything that I said, of the support and all that, could be coming for LA. It could be some blessings at the same time. Or maybe America is going to be launching something. That is up to Trump. We'll see how that goes. It's going to be squaring our Saturn directly at 14 degrees. Now, squaring when you have Jupiter and Venus may not be that bad. Okay. This might be a huge blessing, but there could be a huge limitations when it comes to our business partners. And when I say business partners, I mean our partners, our public relations. So anyone that I could think of is only Israel. Okay. But that could be happening as well. But and it's in government to the 11th house, or something with our future here. So let's see what the government is going to be limiting America on. Mars and Libra makes us limit with our relationships. Oh, Mars enters Libra. It's going to be sitting here. So us trying to achieve things, or America is trying to achieve things, there's going to be a limitation, and it's going to be through our partners of some sorts. So we do have that. Uranus is in this 7th house. So any type of things dealing with our open partners and people we're working with. Also, this could represent like JD Vance too, any type of partnership. But just know that there is something that's very out of the box and surprises and shocks coming our way for America. Now, far as Israel, because I keep saying Israel. Israel, we have Mercury. It was retrograding on their people, and their emotions. And I'm not following what's happening in the news, so I'm just going to tell you what Mercury represents. But the moon represents the people, okay? And they're feeling kind of cocky, and there is some redoing and some repeating of this cockiness of you being on stage and everyone looking at you. And it's like people are like tired of the people of Israel. I'm just saying what Leo represents. It's like you're too much on stage. We don't want to see it on stage, or it's very dramatic, or you're being dramatic. That kind of sort of energy as a country. Okay. I'm not sure what announcement could be made, but there could be an announcement being made because it's going to be coming back. It's going to hit it 4 degrees. There could be some announcement dealing with the people. Let's see what that represents. Huge announcement. Also, too, coming up with a transformation or something of power, being obsessed with power, coming up in a huge restriction, announcement of war. Also, too, as it hits that too, when Mercury in Leo, it's just going to be very drama. The sun is all up in this. We seeing it all. Okay, we seeing all the tea. Also, too, on the 4th, today the sun is highlighting some secrets. So whatever Israel is hiding, we can see it today. Let's see how that plays out in the news now. Far as Elon has been involved a lot. And when I think of Cancer, I do think of Elon. And Elon has a sun in Cancer. He has Mercury in Cancer. And these two are going to be conjunct, sitting at 14 degrees. He may be making a huge announcement. Let's see what announcement he has. Or he could be tweeting something. He may be getting a lot of support of it. Okay. Maybe he's launching something. Remember, Jupiter represents launch. So there could be a launching of something. Let's see. It could be involving aesthetics, a woman, partnership. Yes, let's see. Yes, that is for Elon Musk. And then who else do we have? Oh, Trump. Duh. Wait, let me see what else we have for Elon. Uranus. Oh, okay. So he's got Uranus in the 12th house. He's trying to do things that are very out of the box, but there's a limitation for him. Or this could be some conspiracy theories that we cannot see happening. I do want you to understand what I thought here is like he thinks he's the new God. Kind of energy, or a new religion of some sort. But there's confusion and weakness when it comes to his career as well. Mars is going to it's on top of his Pluto. It kind of left, so he's probably dealing with some power struggles here in communication. Is going to be on top of this Uranus when it hits Libra, and that's going to be a lot of things very outside of the box. So let's see what announcements he has. This is an announcement. He's probably working on it, but there's some type of power struggle here, or maybe he's working on being stronger and obsessed with power as well, because that's very much a possibility. Now, lastly, we have Trump. Where's my Trump? Oh, Donald Trump is what I have. Okay. Trump, he has Jupiter and Venus in his 12th house. This is a house of conspiracy theories. This is a house of religion, spirituality, secrets, also enemies that he cannot see. I do believe that Trump is doing things in a huge way that is an illusion for the people. I think that he has to be very secretive. I think that there's something with a partner involved here. Secret agreements here is what you get here as well. It could be something of his past or something regarding his safety. So I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I am an American, so there is bias there. But I do want you to understand that there could be some secrets here, some secrets dealings that he has. A lot of presidents have 12th house placements, so it makes sense. But there is a huge going on with his deceptions and illusions here for us. Now, Mercury's retrograding on top of this first house. I think this is when you had him tweet all this stuff like, I don't care about you supporters and all that stuff. The support energy could be disappearing here, but it's going to come back in his first house. So we'll see. Something's going to change when it goes into Leo. This retrograde that stops retrograding and then it starts to come back, he's going to have like a very powerful message or tweets coming or be obsessed with power, and this could be a message about war as it comes over into this way. Now Mars entering Libra into the planet of deception or secrets or conspiracy theories, him trying to fight, but there's some type of secretive motive to him fighting in regards to a partnership, and a partnership again I would think is Israel. Now whoever we're in partnership with, which again is Israel. I don't know much about America politics or anything, but I know that we have a partnership with. They have a lot of power here. That's what this represents. So they have a lot of power into our future. So I don't think that's a shocker. Let me see. Mars and Libra conjunct Neptune, more deception, lacking trust in regards to Israel or any type of relationship or public relations we have. He's going to be tweeting something too. I said that here. Mercury starts retrograde in the first house of self, and the self of him and his leadership and his identity. Maybe he could have some more clarity on like, what are you really trying to stand for here? All right. So I'm filming. Anyway, so that is what we have. Let me pull a card for Trump here, and then I'll let you guys go. A card for Trump. We have the Chariot card. He's going to keep pushing. He don't care what the options are here. He feels like there's action, there's success. He's going to keep moving. A lot of movement forward for Trump. So he's not backing down. Whereas Elon, we have the Moon card. This makes me think a lot of deceitfulness, a lot of secrets, a lot of illusions. A lot of fears. A lot of secrets with him, okay? With Elon, he is not to be trusted. Far as Israel, we have the hangman. This is like religion too. But the hangman represents letting go. They need to let go, and there's some uncertainty there. The stuff that they're saying is not quite clear. That card, the hangman represents Neptune, so deception and all that stuff. And lastly, America. I pulled the Death card, but it's in reverse, so this is very positive. I don't know. Can you guys see this really clear? I need a new system here. Hold on. Is that better? I don't know. Okay, so the Death card in reverse is a cleansing of some sort. There is going to be a cleansing. There is going to be a releasing of this negativity. Now, the Death card represents a transformation, and it's like we're stuck and not changing. So there's something that needs to be changed, and we're not changing. Okay. I just see that I can't see my Facebook comments. I apologize for that, okay? But there is a resistance to change here. They're stuck. and it's repeating negative patterns. With that Jupiter in Cancer, that will represent just like a big thing and being stuck in the past in a huge way. So let's see how that plays out with America. Let's see what announcements we have or what's launching. And it could be a blast from the past. And it's like this again, really. And it's not, it's very conservative thinking as well. All right. But yes, that is what we have. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see what the next videos have coming up. I have a personal thing and I'm trying to prep a lot of videos so I can like stack and have them pre-recorded. That will be coming up more next month. So look out for that and have some grace for me for a lot of pre-recorded videos. But yeah, also to the last video, you guys check out my last video. I'm doing fashion videos and aesthetics, and I broke down Cancer's aesthetics, and I already done Gemini. And Leo will be coming up, but I still have to do, I'm a book person. I love books. And I still connect that with astrology as well. All right. If you guys have any fresh ideas or new concepts you want me to do with astrology, I am more than open. So write those comments down below. Hit me up in the DMs. All right. I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye bye.